United States of America, a country that was supposed to be the wealthiest and most cutting edge, has fallen into misery. As a result of a banking crash and a constant political crisis, our economy has been in turmoil for 8 years. And our unpopular and indecisive president Herbert Hoover has so far done little to fix our situation. This has led to radical forces gaining popularity and growing in strength. Even more concerning for the government is that elections are arriving in 11 months. So, to try and change the course of our economy, Hoover was forced to reintroduce the Gardner-Wagner bill, which will launch unemployment relief efforts. It only managed to pass the Congress after granting concessions to the Socialist Party of America, granting them a boost in popularity. With it passed, the economy finally started looking upwards, but only for a few days. A banking crash in Germany spread all throughout the world, and with our economy already unstable, we took a massive hit. Still, the government didn't give up, and in the last few months before the elections, they managed to pass a new industrial act to kickstart heavy industry as well as funding new shipyards, both granting jobs to Americans. But with continued radicalization and the elections around the corner, the governing parties had no choice but to launch their campaigns and begin negotiations with other moderates. And so, 2 months later, the elections arrived, which means it's time for you, the people of America, to head to the polls and vote for one of 4 candidates. The first, Alf Landon. After 2 months of negotiations, the Republicans, Democrats and Progressives decided to support him to unite the moderate front. Unlike Hoover, he favors economic interventionism and seeks to once and for all turn the economy around with decisive action. The Gardner-Wagner bill has shown that it is possible. He also seeks to save America from all the radicals through his Home Rule plan, to negotiate for responsible autonomy with the radicals. Most of his support comes from the West Coast, where the economy has been the strongest. The second, Bill Haywood, the socialist candidate, having united totalists, syndicalists and radical socialists in his Socialist Party of America, he has a lot of support. Especially in the Rust Belt, where workers have been hit the hardest from the economic crisis. He and his party sees capitalism as the root of all these crises and seek to adopt socialist economic theory instead, to bring equality and freedom to the oppressed workers. The third, Huey Long, leader of the American First Party. After having successfully lifted many Louisianians out of poverty and illiteracy with his leftist and anti-oligarch policies, the word of his effectiveness has spread throughout most of former French Louisiana. But while you might think he's a socialist, he has considerable support from Christian populist conservatives due to his patriotic and populist rhetoric. His goal is to create an extensive share our wealth program to keep the Americans away from the socialists and capitalists who are both too un-American for him. The fourth, William H. Murray, the Dixiecrat in the elections. He's uniting dissatisfied former Democrats and Republicans in his old Democratic Party, as well as the National White League and the Klan. He's running for president against the communists and corporations, as well as to keep or even strengthen segregation. Most of his support comes from the southern state, but also from some more northern ones. While that was all of the candidates, there is a fifth option, joining MacArthur in his war plan White. The plan would call on MacArthur to take emergency power to fight the radical militias that could set America over the tipping point. While he has been denied by Hoover to do this, with support in the army he could still launch it if worse comes to worse. So, which candidate will you vote for, or should we instead put our trust in MacArthur and the military? To vote, head to my community post or click on the link on the top right corner. To not miss the next episode, which will hopefully be released in 2 days, please subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching and go make your vote count.